So this is a more time-consuming one. This one says, like as I'm glancing through it, I see a milliliter, I see a temperature, a pressure, milliliter, and pressure. There are 5 variables in there, so most likely I'm going to be like working with that top one or the middle one. And if I keep reading, I see the word changes. So again, that's going to be that top equation up there. And this one wants us to solve for final pressure, which would be T2. So if I bring it over here, I've got P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2. Then if I multiply, because if I'm going to solve for this, I need it by itself. So I'm going to multiply both sides by T2 and divide both sides by P2. So that cancels him and that cancels him out. Now I just need to make sure I get it filled in correctly. So my pressure is the 388.7 millimeters of mercury. I'm glancing ahead to see if I need to change that. And it says, what is the final pressure in millimeters of mercury? So I'm actually okay on that unit. Let's see, volume 26.47 milliliters. And again, note, does it need to be in liters? Glance ahead. Nope, I see something else in milliliters. We're good. Temperature, and so 13.67, that's Celsius. So we have to add 273.15 to it to get it to Kelvin. And then we're going to repeat again. This is what we're looking for. V is the 57.49. That's the new volume. And then the temperature, the second temperature becomes 27.9. And again, I go ahead and I write in the little conversion right there. So I just got to fill it in. And that's 1, 1, and 1. So T2, I'm going to actually do it just a little bit lower, I think. So 27.9 plus 273.15, that one, times my P1, which is 388.7 millimeters of mercury. That one is Kelvin. It does matter that those be in Kelvin, by the way. They have to be in Kelvin. Let's see. I just realized when I converted it around, that was supposed to be a V there. No, it wasn't. It was a P. No, it was supposed to be a V because I have a V right there. So when I moved it, I transferred it over as a P, and I meant to transfer it as a V. So that gives me 57.49 milliliters times my temperature, which is the first temperature, 13.67, plus 273.15 Kelvin. And as a little note, you can see the answer I should get is this answer right here. Let's see if I do when I get my calculator in there. So 27 point, I've got to put this in parentheses or it won't work. 27.9 plus 273.15. And you might not be able to see that unless I get it a little bit lower. There we go. Now you can see it. Times 388.7 times 26.47 divided by 57.49. Now, in this case, if you're planning on having it, writing that all as multiplying the way it looks here into your calculator, you need a parentheses. I'm writing it like this. So I'm doing divided by the 57, and then I'm also doing divided by the other number. So I'm using 2 divided by signs when I do that. For me, I feel like I'm less likely to make a calculator error. But for you, you might need to have the parentheses there. So there we go. You can see it's 187.8. There's a 4 beside the 8. It won't round it up. Even if the 7 would have rounded up the 4, it doesn't work that way. You can only look one number over. And if you weren't sure on units, my kelvins canceled, my milliliters canceled, and it for sure did give me millimeters of mercury.